All right, so this is the point where you see the scary talk, and at the end, you probably turn your phone off. So these guys have presented for us before. They've done some amazing research, very kind of like they did last year, which was a really, really cool talk. I think you guys are in for a real treat. Let's give these guys a big hand.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Oh, there's so many people. So last year, my team have had about 3 presentations, and we got GPS spoofing, we got a film to cell, and we also got the Zigbee, and I'm really happy to stand here right again, and share something. So here's my talk, and. This is the LTE redirection. So people will know about LTE is fourth generation, but people think it's more secure and than the 2nd generation and the 3rd generation. So today let's learn how to break it. And my name is Haoqi Shan, and here is my colleague, and his name is Wanqiao. So we come from the Qihoo 360 and the Unicorn team. Our team are focusing on several security issues in about such as wireless system and embedded hardware. So this topic is about LTE network. We will show you how to force a target LTE cell phone into a specific unsafe network. So, but don't worry, we didn't burn the device, so your phone is still unsafe. So, 4th generation network is more advanced than is a more advanced mobile network than 2nd generation and 3rd generation, but absolutely, it's not absolutely secure. So there are already some papers show how to expose these vulnerabilities of LTE networks, and one of them is the presentations in the last year. And if you guys had listened to it, it's on the Black Hat Europe. Yeah. So this presentation introduced the LTE IMSI catcher, and the LTE cell phones tracking, and the DOS attack of your LTE cell phone. So let my colleague show you how to break your LTE cell phone's network and in detail, please.
Hello, glad to see you. My name is Wanqiao. And to start with, let's have a look at the 2 common attacks against the LTE network. The first one is IMSI catcher. How does this work? From this picture, we can see the left tower is a real LTE network base station, which is controlled by operators, while the right one is a fake LTE base station, which covers small space. Okay, when the cell phone comes into the area of the fake LTE network, it will immediately ask to report its IMSI number by the fake base station. Okay. Well, the IMSI number stands for the user. The IMSI number stands for the user identifier, which can track user locations and movements. This kind of device is mostly used by national security departments to track criminal suspects. And I also heard that there are some illegal casinos to use it for raising alert when some strangers approach. Well, the other attack is called denial of service attack. After the fake base station gets the IMSI number of its covered cell phone, it can do further attack to cell phone. It can send a reject message such as "You are an illegal cell phone" or "There is no available network." Well, when the cell phone gets this kind of message, it usually turns into the no service status for a very long time. What's more, some cell phones can only recover by rebooting, but different kinds of cell phones react in different manners. According to the experiments we have taken, all iPhones and the majority of Android system cell phones are influenced by their vulnerable elements. Okay, now let's take a look at the new attack we have been working on. As the picture shows, there are two fake networks, one in the LTE base station, while the other is a GSM fake base station. When the cell phone approaches them, then it firstly attaches in the malicious LTE base station. Then the malicious LTE base station will tell the phone, go to my GSM network. Okay, the cell phone has to follow its command and enters into the malicious GSM network. Well, when the cell phone enters the malicious GSM network, the attackers could do further attacks, such as eavesdropping on conversations, intercepting the SMS, or analyzing data traffic. Here is the demonstration platform we developed to verify the redirection attack. There are two computers with USRPs. The right one is a mini desktop computer with an USRP B210, and it runs an open LTE program and create a fake LTE network. While the left one is an Apple Mac laptop with an USRP B200 mini running the OpenBTS program. Okay, let's show the video.
It's dumped a video, so we can put it in our PowerPoint. So let's play it for you. All right.
It lasts
It's just 1 minute.
Okay, you know the LTE, the cell phone from the real 4G network to the fake 4G network and then down to the GSM network is a faster procedure. So it's very difficult to show this variation. Pay attention to this short video. It lasts only 1 minute. Okay, now let's check the computer with the 2G fake network. Okay, we can see the IMSI number from the fake network. Now, yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay, in this video, we utilize the OpenBTS to build a fake network, which means the cell phone can't connect to the internet. In other words, it loses connection to the real world. But the fake networks still can do some malicious attack, such as making a call or sending SMS with unknown calling numbers. Okay, besides, there is a more advanced attack. This attack utilizes the femtocell. Yeah, a rogue network, as the picture shows. This is already hacked by our team. This is the femtocell, and it was already hacked by our team. Last year, my partner Haoqi has given a presentation about how to hack this femtocell. And you know the femtocell can connect to the operator's real network, but it can also controlled by attackers. Then the attacker can eavesdrop all the traffic, including voice and data. Such rogue femtocell can be 2G or even 3G. Okay, now let's go further into the protocol to see how this attack is realized. Here is the LTE basic procedure. When cell phone is powered on, it firstly search the cells around it and choose the cell with strong signal to attach. In this case, the cell phone will initiate an RRC connection. Over this connection, the cell phone will send the attach request message to start authentication. Okay, when the authentication procedure finishes, the RRC connection will enter a status with secure. Will enter the will enter the status. Okay. Enter status with integrity and serving protection. In other words, the basic station and the cell phone will establish a security network service. But before this step, all the messages are not encrypted. So this unauthorized part is the attack space. Yeah, the blue signalings. Let's see how to realize IMSI catcher from the signaling procedures value. Now we presume the phone is staying in the operator's network. Then we set up a fake network around it. Then it finds a better cell, the fake cell, and try to connect to it. To avoid easily exposing the cell phone itself, it will not directly send the IMSI number, but send a tracking error update request with the TIMS number. The TIMS number stands for the temporary mobile subscriber identity, which is decided by base station. If this is a normal cell reselection procedure in normal network, then the base station should know the TIMS number and then complete tracking error updating. But obviously, fake LTE base station doesn't know the cell phone's identity, so it sends back a tracking error update reject message. At the same time, this message will carry the reason why network refuse cell phone's request. There are many kinds of causes for refusal, and each cause has a number. If we send the cause number 9 to cell phone, which is described in the specification, UE identity can't be derived by the network, then the cell phone will initiate the attach procedure by sending an attach request. This message contains information what the attacker wants, yes, the IMSI number. We already know that there are many kinds of causes for refusal. Well, when we get the IMSI number, we can do further attack to throw the next message. In this case, we can send attach reject with some special causes. Here are several causes for typical DOS attack. Number 3, number 7, number 8, and number 14. Cause number 3 means illegal UE. Cause number 7 means EPS service are not allowed. Well, cause number 8 means EPS service and non-EPS service are not allowed. Cause number 14 means EPS service are not allowed in this PLMN. All of these causes may lead the cell phone to shut down their modem and to keep off for a very long time. Okay, the third attack, RRC redirection, follows the attack reject message. From this picture, we can see the red words. Yeah, the malicious network send an RRC connection release message additionally. Well, the release message could carry extension information called redirection carrier info. The redirected carrier can be any type of network, 4G, 3G, or 2G. So we could redirect the target cell phone into 2G or 3G network and redirect other cell phone into the neighboring 4G network. Well, someone may argue that you just downgrade the cell phone into an unsafe network to 2G or 3G or 2G, but we could use jamming tool as well, and it's much easier than encoding. Yes, jamming tool can also let 4G network unworkable and downgrade cell phone into 3G or 2G. But the point is, in this manner, it will influence all cell phones. That's why we claim that the redirection attack could accurately attack the target cell phone and do not influence any other cell phone. They can still keep in the 4G network and don't need to worry about revealing information. Okay, after knowing about the principle of this attack, let's talk about the method to build a set of demo system to verify this attack. Well, here is the test platform. We use the common tool, USRP plus a computer. The model of the USRP is B210. B210, yeah. The computer is a gigabyte and is small enough to hide itself. There are several open source LTE projects. Well, I think these two projects are most popular. The first one is Open Air Interface, developed by Eurocom. This is the most complicated. This is the most completed open source LTE project, and it has been developed for many years. What's more, it provides a connection between the real cell phone and the internet. But the OAS system refers to a very complicated software architecture, so there's a little difficult to modify its source code. Well, the second project is named OpenLTE, written by only one person, Ben. He was a Motorola engineer and joined the Google project long in last year. Ben gives this project on a very beautiful coding style, so it's quite easy to understand the whole architecture and to extend its function. That's why it has a more popular situation in security research. However, the shortcoming of this project is it hasn't achieved a stable LTE data connection. But for our experiment, the functioning is enough, to build a fake LTE network. I wrote a few slides to give the TP and Open LTE source code. If you want to build a fake LTE network, just look at these signalings. Let's see the signalings again. In IMSI catcher, we need to send tracking error update reject message with special calls. In current OpenLTE software, the TAU request isn't handled. You can see the line, not handling tracking error update request. Luckily, we found the TAU reject message packing function is ready. So in this part, we can see this part, MME pack tracking error update reject message. So what we need to do is just adding some codes to handle TAU keys with this function. Okay, just like the principle. Okay, when receiving the TAU request from cell phone, we should firstly set the MME procedure as TAU request. Then what we need to do is just writing a function to call a TAU reject message. When writing this TAU rejective function, you can refer to the attached rejective function. It was already too. Then how about DOS attack? We can directly use this function, send attach reject. As you see the highlighted line, you can set your rejective causes here. In the next message, we can do further attack, sending attach reject with some special causes. Here, okay. And the third case is the RRC redirection. This is a little complicated. You have to read the specification to know the message format and insert the redirect clear info into RRC connection release message. From the red circle, we can see we return 1 to this function. It is because here. This part is a 3GPP protocol about RRC connection release message. We can see the top layer of this message. The red line, the redirected clear info choice is optional. So in this case, we just need to open this choice and set 1 in this bit. Then we can modify the last code in this manner. Okay, that's all the method we need to modify. Now it's Haoqi's time. Let him introduce why we do this. Okay. Sorry. This picture is a cell phone screenshot, and this cell phone has login capability, and I use it to check whether it really received my redirection info. So yes, it did receive. The clear info is a GRAN. Yeah, it means GSM network. And its ARFCN frequency number is 14.2. Then the cell phone will firstly search this frequency. Yeah, these are almost all the source code you need to modify if you want to build an attack tool. Quite simple, right? Now it's Haoqi's time. Let me introduce why we do this. Okay.
All right, thanks to my colleague's great work, and she did most of the job. Yeah, pretty awesome. Thank you. So actually, our team's not a team that has very strong attack abilities. We often said we, lack of imagination of doing some bad things. We just to find the vulnerabilities, but we don't know how to use it. We prefer to be a defender. So we tell ourselves that, from this presentation, and we will emphasize not only the risk of the vulnerabilities of your, I just said, LTE network, from the attacker's side, but also think about the background. So the reasons why these vulnerabilities exist. So our question is, why is the WRC redirection message not encrypted? I suppose some of you will think of the same question. First question is this really a new problem? We consulted with several, Huawei Security, it's a really large company in China, and the 3GPP standard experts. So surprisingly, she's finding is not a new, and the 3GPP knows risk about 10 years ago, really 10 years ago. So here is the document in January 26 years, so which introduced a forced handover attack. So let's see this paragraph. I don't know. Yeah, you can see it clearly. So this compromised base station can be initiate a reconfiguration procedure to the UE, directing it to a cell or network chosen by the attacker. So this could function as a denial of service, if the target network cannot or will not offer to the UE service, or to allow chosen network to capture UES. So this document writes this problem I just mentioned before. And then about 10 months later, so in November 26, the 3GPPs made a decision. So let us read the two key points in this decision. And the point one is, the WRC is integrated and the ciphering will be started only once, just once, during the attach procedure. And for example, after the AKA has been performed. So it cannot be deactivated later. And the point two is the WRC integrated and the ciphering algorithm can only be changed in the case, of the node B handover. So you see here, 3GPPs, they give an expression on the WRC ciphering. And here is a question, why they did this? So, because in some special case, such as earthquake or during hot event, there will be too many cell phones trying to access just one base stations. That make these base stations will be overloaded. So to let a network load, balanced, so this base station can ask the new coming cell phone to redirect to the another base station. If you don't tell the cell phone, which base station is light loaded, the cell phone will might blindly and ineffectively to search one by one. This costs a lot of powers. So finally increase the whole network loaded. So 3GPPs, they think the new base station should take the responsibility to to auth the cell phone. So they decide to encrypt. They decide not to encrypt the WRC redirection procedure. So I just explained the background reason of these 3 attacks here, and the IMSI catcher, they cannot be avoided because we need a global remaining, and you have to firstly show your identify, and then to do the auth. So Wi-Fi security system, they have the similar situation. We all know that the MAC address, people can use it to track you. Yeah. So from iOS 8 and Windows 10, so there will be some MAC randomization, and this method it will be used. But actually, to factorize the network management, the random MAC address only enabled in a strict condition. Yeah, strict condition. So if a terminal use Wi-Fi hotspot such as 2.0, yeah, the Wi-Fi hotspot 2.0 is a specification for the Wi-Fi roaming. So in that case, this MAC randomization will also be disabled. That's a little bit pity. So global roaming and identity privacy is conflict, and it's need to trade off. DOS attack and the battery energy saving saving is another trade-off. Suppose this network is really unusable, and so if this cell phone keeps searching the network, it will consume too much energies and quickly consume out. So this is also a bad thing. As you can see, this network protocol designer, they have to make many trade-offs between the basic connection requirement and the high-level requirement, the privacy. The privacy is what we're caring about. So I gave the excuse of these vulnerabilities. I believe people should. So do not mean I refuse to fix this problem. So let's find out how to fix this. In this slide, let's discuss this. Let's discuss these countermeasures. So firstly, at the cell phone manufacturer side, since the standard and the modern chipsets haven't fixed this problem, so what they can do, for example, is such as don't follow the redirection command, but also auto search the other available base station. Or you can say cell phone can follow the redirection command, but you should give your users some alert, such as warning you are downgraded and to the lower security network. But I think it's really hard work. So we know about the root of this problem is the unsafe GSM network. So why don't we try to solve this problem? And the GSM network is still needed by the operators. There's a lot of devices you need to just support the GSM network. So you want to change it, it needs a long time. So from the standard side, they are making effort to fit, the weak point of the GSM network. So here is a very fresh news. Just a couple months ago, 3GPP received a proposal of the GSMA. So the basic idea of the upgrade, the mobile device security capability, and since the older GSM network equipment, we cannot, or you can say difficult, to upgrade it. So GSMA, they propose 2 methods. One is a mobile device. They refuse one-way auth, and if they visit a network, is 3G capable. And the second method is disable some weak encryption, such as the A51 algorithm in mobile. So I'm sorry. Where's my mouse? Yeah, here it is. So these 2 proposals haven't finally standardized by the 3GPP because you want it to be a standard is really hard and not quite easy. So, but we've seen a good beginning. Is someone trying to fix this situation, and okay, yeah. Actually, we show you how to break and show you how to fix this problem, and we did it both way. But I think there some cell phone manufacturers can learn something from this presentation, and I hope so. So here is our presentation today, and we thank so many companies give us a lot of help, such as Huawei and Qualcomm and Apple. Yeah, Apple. So if you have any questions about how to build your own LTE networks that or some malicious unsafe, or you can say unsafe network, so please feel free to contact us. And you're welcome to take a picture. Thank you.